It's doing it for you because you're the one recording it. So on YouTube, when you put it up, you'll be able to see the speakers. Now it's live.
But it says there was an error loading your app. The app did not load because there appears to be something wrong with it.
Oh, that's weird.
But we're both down here at the bottom, and it's still recording.
Well, I put it on my phone too. I didn't know what you was doing, so I said whatever.
This is your phone?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what wasn't loading.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully this works. I gotta get the girl's email from my other email account. Tired.
Yo, Joaquin made me this drink yesterday, That shit was crazy. I'm tasting it. It was such a little drink.
Mm-hmm.
It was so strong. It tasted so good. It was so strong. He was like, it has a lot of alcohol in it, right? And I was like, yeah. He was like, one of those will put your ass. They used to call it like the Air. He's at some restaurant he used to work at in Williamsburg. They called it the Air Jordan. It was $23 cocktail. I was like, because you only need one.
Damn.
It was one of those little tiny glasses too. I was like, oh, this shit is strong, but it tastes amazing.
Oh, the girl's email.
Did you read Louis C.K.'s statement?
No, I didn't read any of that stuff.
He's just like, it's true.
Well, what did they say? I didn't read any of the things.
Oh, well, these women came forward, and one of the accusations was that he came, there was after a comedy show, he invited them up, and when he invited them up, he just like took out his dick, as he said, and started masturbating in front of them. And other like creepy shit like that. Nothing that he actually physically touched anybody, but like he touched himself in front of them. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm glad he admitted to that. Like, I'm glad he admitted to that because it's just like people are more like, you're a fucking perv. That to me seems like something hard to admit. It's like I did some creep shit.
Yeah, it's like
the other stuff is like predatory.
Yes.
But I feel like people can let it go. You know what I mean? Like that's what men are expected to do. Like expect sex from women. But it's like you just did some weird shit, Louis. Like it was just fucking weird. Like what?
He's like, in the thing, he's like, I never take my dick out. He says dick without asking first. So he said he asked them and then he just did like, but it was like not asking.
Yes, no, I got it. Hold on, I gotta show you something because I was gonna text you and Lamille the other day. So I gotta show y'all this book I got. I couldn't help myself. I had to buy it, and I was like, I'm gonna read this over the Christmas break because I got mad shit to read. But I'm gonna read this over the break when I'm done with my classes. It's mad dark. I'm in the living room.
You have those dark curtains.
So why the hell everything in here so damn dark? Okay, I'm gonna show it to you. Cause I was like, yo, I'm gonna read this. Now Louis C.K. make me want to read it for real, for real. Ugh. Okay. It's called, can you see it?
Mm-hmm. perv, what the sexual deviance? Oh Lord.
All of us. And it's
Yeah, that's why I think. See, that's why I think this conversation is going. I don't think people want to go there.
no.
That's
And
why
Louis C.K. would be the motherfucker to take us.
I was like, this conversation, this whole sexual assault thing, like, because it's moved from like I was raped and Bill Cosby drugged me to like somebody grabbed my butt to like you told weird jokes. Like that's what the guy from one of the guys, some news person was like talking about like, oh, he told weird jokes in the same room as me. Like to me, those are different phases of things. And it's like, oh, we about to go to weird jokes? Is that where we're going? Because this is about to get real comfortable. Everybody about to get called out.
Everybody indicted.
Everybody about to get dragged into the. It's like you told jokes and I was uncomfortable. Like the one woman said that for David Corn, she said that he hugged her unwelcome, and his response was, "Oh," he's like horrified. He's like, "I'm an exuberant person."
Wait, who is this guy?
He's a person from Mother Jones magazine, which is like a left-leaning magazine.
I know.
And he was like, "This Mother Jones."
I know what Mother Jones is. He's
like their lead. He's their lead, most famous writer. He broke the story. He broke the dossier story.
Uh-huh.
And he's basically like, we had an HR thing about this in 2014, and he's like, since that, I really tried to moderate my behavior because I realized that it made people uncomfortable. But he was like, basically, oh my God, you thought I was a creep, but I'm just exuberant.
Mm.
I was like, oh, this is going down a road. That's gonna get real. I'm like, I was like, people at work comment on what people wear a lot. Like, I feel like that's within the realm. What's your face?
I don't know, man. And like, what gets you creep status is like, I feel like most people who are creeps are like oblivious, kind of like this guy, the hugging guy.
Yes.
Because like we had this running joke about like Diego being creepy. And I think he just thinks he's well liked. And we're like, you're kind of a creep. Like you're a close talker. You're always touching people. You have this ponytail. And it's like the most mundane shit. But like,
yeah. But
when
it's
add it up,
value.
when you add it up,
yeah.
People are like, ew. It's hilarious. Like, people just be oblivious. Like, oblivious.
And here's the other thing. I think when it comes to like men and boys, I feel like because of male privilege, there are things that men and boys do that are not like seen as line crossing. Like, obviously line crossing. So they just like, okay, it could have been an awkward moment. And it's like done for them in their brain. Oh, this thing happened, it was done, whatever. But like for the person who it happened to, it's like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait a minute. And my thing is that I probably think a lot of these men don't remember.
Yep.
Which is fucking crazy.
And that's why that woman, she did a good thing when she went to the HR person.
Yes.
Because that's probably something he would have never remembered had it not been blown out of proportion, but
taken there.
A bigger deal when it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like now that's something he remembers. Now it's something he remembers and like pays attention to.
Yes.
But for all the times that people don't say anything at all.
Yes. And it's just like he doesn't know to self-moderate because no one's been like, wait, here are the boundaries.
Yes. I remember one time, I'm trying to remember what happened when we were at HVA at leadership. This has nothing to do with any of that other stuff, actually, but Cole Farnham, this white guy, oh man, from like Maine or something. We had this stupid task of like decorating a pumpkin in like the image of a colleague. You know, it's like Secret Santa kind of, but for Halloween.
Oh, I think I remember this story. Keep going.
Yes, and he made my pumpkin, and it has some little black coily shit.
It had what?
Some black coily shit on top of it.
It also have like red lips, like big red lips.
Yes, and some big ass fucking black pipe cleaners for hair. It was so funny. He sampled the fucking pumpkin. I was like, who the fuck did But the crazy thing was, Bridges looked the same as Steve had made her. So Steve and Cole had to go to H. I was like, what the fuck? Oh man, I'm in tears, man. But he felt so bad. He felt so bad. I feel like I had 2 issues with Cole Farnham, but maybe that was the only one.
That's funny.
And I like Cole Farnham. He never like said anything offensive to my face or anything like that. But white men be needing a hard chin check. They don't understand nothing else.
Yeah, it's just they don't know the boundary. It's like it's one of those situations where it's like that's how you confront white privilege. Is that you got to confront it.
To confront it. Can I tell you something? My advisor said, Anthony, I don't know what fucking tree he fell out of. I really don't get it. But he is woke as fuck. I keep looking at him like, is he white? And then I'm like, I heard him identify himself as white once, so he gotta be white.
Mm-hmm.
But he be coming with this shit, and I'm like, wait, what? So on the Wednesday, we were talking about, what were we talking about? We're talking about the Little Rock Nine. We watched a clip from Eyes on the Prize. We were talking about the Little Rock Nine. We talked about a video. This text by this guy named Klarman who writes about the Supreme Court decisions, civil rights. And so I was bored. I just didn't think anybody was saying anything worthwhile in the beginning of class. I was over it. And so I noticed I was over it because usually I'm like physically engaged. So I'm like leaning in. When somebody else talks, I like immediately turn to them. I'm like, I'm like tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was looking at people, but when I tell you, I was like, I don't give a fuck. This guy, Aaron, at one point was talking, and I had because we had to read the case for reparations for this class too. So I had the magazine in my hand. At one point, I put the magazine over my face, like, shut the fuck up. And so I just was like, whatever, like going through the motion. Then we start talking about the case for reparations. We had a break, and after the break, we're talking about that. And so somebody was making a comment, and I started like making notes because I'm like, oh, these are the 2 points I want to make. And then after the person was finished, I was just looking up, like, kind of to see who the next person to speak was going to be. And my advisor just looks at me. He goes, Adjoa? I said, what? He said, you have something you would like to say? I said, yeah, how you know that? He said, well, I was reading your body language. I said, oh, shit. What you mean my body language? In the beginning? When I was like, fuck. So then a classmate of mine, Robin, the white girl, she makes a comment about, you would love Robin. Trevor would love Robin. I fucking love Robin. She is like grown and so smart and just like queer down to the socks, but she married a man and she has a baby. I mean, well, she has a 3-year-old, so she always talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm really like a bi girl who like married this guy. And which the other day she was like, I like hate all men. And Terrell's like, wait, what? What do you mean? But like I'm here and you have a husband. She said, I mean, I hate him a little bit less. She said, but I mean, men, like they're hateable. So anyway, so she makes this point about like people basically saying that like I never knew, I don't know these things. The basically this kind of like excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about this and blah blah. And so I can't remember what her point. Like she was like, basically, I think it was about like avoidance. Like people don't want to know this stuff, so they try to like not engage with it. I don't need to learn that, or I don't, that's not important for me, or I do this,
Yeah.
whatever. And then I was like, it was to me, it was like such a radical thing to say, but like nobody else really caught it. I said, "Oh shit, you ain't here preaching." He said, "Yeah, like." He was like, "Yeah, you know, people do want like not to go those routes or whatever, not to like understand those things." And then he just says something like, "But you can put things in their way." I said, what?
Yeah.
He was like, I said, you are over here talking some like radical disruption. He said, you put stuff in people's way so they don't have a choice. I said, well, you are over here like, boom. I'm teaching this African American education class with my white ass.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you it's like, oh, you have to confront me.
Yes.
You have to deal with this.
He made a comment about a girl in one of his classes making a comment about how she making a comment about how she never a girl in one of his classes who made a comment about how she how she thought she was thinking about when Rutgers was like integrated and Paul Robeson and stuff. But then she was like, well, now I realize that like Black people have always been on this campus. They built it, they maintain it, they work it. You know the janitor that busted the window out at Yale?
What?
Remember the janitor that busted out the window at Yale?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ben was like, no, I know him. He like said somebody's like that incident happened at Yale, and he said the guy's name. And he's like, yeah, he's a friend of mine.
A friend of mine. Wow.
No, he knows his whole name. He's like, yeah, he like has been to my house. He's like, before he busted the window and shit. I said, damn, yo. He said he's been at Yale forever. But yeah, also Ben went to Yale forever. But anyway, so anywho, but I was like, damn, yo, you really was like, he was like, no, you can put stuff in people's way. I said, oh shit, you're talking like a radical. But yeah, it was funny. That's confrontation for you.
Mm-hmm.
In the people's way. All right. Do laundry, don't feel like it. Well, I'm supposed to meet with this girl. I mean, record, this thing at 1. What's 11 a.m. Pacific time, our time? 2?
2.
Yeah, I'll call her at 2. That looked mad scary, just my white part of my eyeball.
What you should do is just set it up and then, send her the link.
Oh,
He's talking right now.
That's who? Alabama or Louis?
He said he's never been guilty. Of course you haven't been guilty because you haven't been charged with it. Don't do that. Don't do that, sir. Um. Anyway, I need to go to the store. Because of my last week. I need to go make a cake so I can give Chester.
Give who?
I need to go to the store so I can give Chester some cake.
Oh, Chester.
I just need some sour cream.
Huh? Oh, you going right here to the store right here?
I was gonna go to the Halsey Street.
Oh, I need to go to the grocery store.
But it's cold. I mean, maybe I'll go tomorrow. It's really cold though. What do you think about this damn Route 100?
What about it?
I feel like it's just a random ass list.
Oh, I never looked at the actual. I don't care anything about the route.
Ooh.
Why would I?
It's so fun. It's funny.
It's like it's fluff stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it is. We went up to Iona College last night. Oh, you can't see this because it's black. Oh, yes, you can. We had fun.
What is that?
So that's me, Jason, and 4 alums.
Oh, okay.
One graduated from Iona. The other 2 are current. One's a junior, one's a senior, and then the one in the back between me and Jason, he's not in school right now. He's figuring it out. And then we took 7 kids up there to visit. They had a ball. I had fun. Tyreek put it together, and he was the host, and he was so good. That one. I was like, hey, Reek. It was fun. I was like, that was a good time. Crazy. And Tyreek was like, this lady, she taught me so many.
Oh, wow.
What?
Oh, my God.
What?
He basically just implied that they're going to go attack the women.
What women?
That came forward against him. The article has 30 sources and 4 different allegations. And his whole thing is like, they're just trying to do this because the election is close.
Yeah, that's fine. Because they don't want you elected to public office, asshole.
So like he's been scrutinized. You've never been scrutinized by the national media. You've been scrutinized by Alabama media. No shade, Alabama media. I'm just saying. When the Washington Post and New York Times get on your ass, something else is just another level.
Yeah.
And you just found that out. So I need to get some sour cream.
What am I gonna do? I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. Also, I think I might get a food delivery because I'm like going outside.
Going outside, I just. Oh no! What happened?
What?
Oh no! Oh no! Duana's dance studio caught on fire.
When? Was that the big fire that happened the other day?
This says 2. Oh wait. Oh wow. This took place yesterday. So Friday. Wow. And she just posted pictures of it. She said we had some damage, but not as bad as it could have been. Oh yeah, it's not that. It doesn't look that bad.
Okay.
Something was for real on fire though. I think the damage that they had was mostly the fire department trying to get into the building.
Yeah.
Or the part that are really burnt up. It looks like the building next But it probably smelled like smoke in there. Yeah, no, they're in her building and next door to it. Yo, these firefighters, yo, what the fuck? These fucking firefighters.
They're real life action heroes.
One dude is running a hose in there with no gear on. He just got the blue shorts and shit.
Yeah, they're real life action heroes. Yo, this is sad.
Real life what?
Action heroes.
Yeah, no, for real.
I did not know this.
What?
The guy, there's a new center on the Knicks, Enes Kanter. He's like a third year in the NBA. He was maybe he's been in a little bit more. He used to play in the Thunder. And he's basically a stateless person.
Why?
Because he's from Turkey, and there's a big dispute with the guy in Pennsylvania who leads his movement. Anyway, it's a political movement, and his name is Golan. He's an older man, and he's basically been like exiled from Turkey, and he has like this. He runs a lot of charter schools here in Gulen. He's like really involved in the charter school movement.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he's basically like exiled. They hate him in Turkey. They think that he's the one who's behind the coup that had the fake, the coup that failed. And the Cancer is like a huge supporter of this guy. He's like, so the dude, Cancer's family disowned him. They told him he needs to change his last name. And the Turkish government stripped him of his passport. It's just a mess. And he said, "I'm a stateless person." He described himself as that.
That's so scary. That's like, to me, the worst thing in the world.
Trump's America too, right? That's
to be stateless, to be it's worse than being a refugee. It's like the worst possible thing, honestly.
Yes.
A stateless person in like this world is not
easily taken advantage of.
Huh? It's just they're just not a human being.
Yes, you could be easily. He's lucky he's a millionaire.
Well, for now.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, because what rights do you have to ownership if you have no state?
And it's like, is the United States government going to allow him to be a citizen?
Mm.
They have a warrant out for his arrest.
Oh God!
They said that he's a member because that group they call him. They say they're terror. So they say he's a terrorist.
Mm.
Is that crazy?
Oh, I know. Oh, you talking about the basketball player?
Yes.
No, I remember this. I remember this story. Yeah.
He's a fucking terrorist.
Damn, and it's unfortunate that he's like so big. I don't know.
Yeah, he's very recognizable.
Yeah, I was gonna say he could fucking just go to somewhere in the Bronx and get a new ID.
He's 6'11".
I wonder how different he would look if he like went bald and shaved, like, I don't know. I just want him to look different and fucking move to Nebraska or some shit.
Well, nothing's gonna happen to him. He's on the Knicks. They'll protect him.
Oh, he plays for the Knicks now.
Yeah.
And
he's doing very well too. So. So it'll be super high profile if something happens to him.
Capitalism will protect him.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully he don't get injured.
Yeah, or like starts playing poorly. Is Richard called Muslim?
Who?
Kyle O'Quinn. Because I'm looking how these players are praying. They're doing open palms.
I'm telling you, that was so funny yesterday. I mean, or 2 days ago. I was like, Gerald, let's do this every week.
I'm not. He's your boyfriend in your head.
He's my boyfriend. He was like, he definitely did not say anything. Like, girl, I'm not taking you home every week. Like, that is fucking dragging it. He didn't say that. But I was like, we should just, I was like, no, I don't want to get out of the car.
I mean, once a week he can take you home.
Well, he only goes to campus like once a week.
Oh,
He's like, fuck this. And then
no,
he got off at the wrong exit. I was like kind of hyped too, because I was like, yes. Like we got off in like Sunset Park or somewhere over there, exit 28, something far. He was like, oh shit. I was like, no problem, man. We just keep talking. Talking about fun things.
Like what? Nothing.
No, we're
like
talking
what?
about like school stuff.
Oh, school stuff.
So he like knows the game. He's also like very smart, but he like knows how people are like fucked up. So we started having this conversation about how people who work in the cognitive sciences, or like what at TC is like curriculum and teaching, how those people, they don't give a fuck about the other side, about the policy, the race, the sociology, the anthropology people. But we're kind of like, you can't study those things if you don't understand these other things.
Yeah.
And so, but they don't care. Like, they're like, fuck y'all, and y'all like, touchy-feely, race as a social construct bullshit. Y'all are bullshit. And so we were talking about that, and I was like, this is fascinating, because basically in the class that I have now, there are 3 people that like are carrying the class. Me, Julianne, and Robin.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of came to a head last week because we read this book. And it's an ethnography of masculinity in high school. And I got introduced to this this framework called Afro-pessimism.
Uh-huh.
And it's all really downhill from there, because I'm like, oh shit, Afro-pessimism, that's where I am. And
what?
It's basically like this idea that like America, white people don't see Black people as human beings. And so like that explains how you can kill Tamir Rice and America not burn down for that shit. And so basically we talked a lot about this book in a way that was so basic and fucked up. Like one woman was like, what is LGBTQ? What?
What does that mean?
He doesn't know what that is.
Go to Wikipedia.
No, Robin was mad. So my professor like started to explain it, and Robin was like, what? Like, so she's like, we can't have like a conversation of depth about this book because we got to explain what lesbian, gay, what LGBTQ stands for. What the fuck? Google.
That also, the fact that you're like, have seen that combination of letters probably hundreds of times in your life.
Well, that person's she's not American.
Oh.
But still, she's Indian, so that means her ass speak English. So she know, like, you can Google those things. It's in the book. So if you didn't know what it meant, Google it. And I'm sure actually at one point in the book, she puts it in parentheses, honestly. But anyway, so we read that, and then we read the Michael Dumas piece on Afro-pessimism. We talked a lot about that book, but there were still only like 4 or 5 of us that made comments about it. The Michael Dumas piece, I was the only person that spoke about it. And I'm like, that's so fucked up. Because the rest of y'all didn't read it, and I'm the only Black person in here. And so Robin was mad. So she went to the professor, that's her advisor. She went to her on Wednesday and was like going off. Like, like these people don't do shit. And Lug was like, this is the same thing I said, but Lug was like, that's gonna catch up with them. Right. And she said the other thing is, it's their advisors. And I was like, oh shit. She's like, it's their advisors. Here's what's interesting. So then I said that to Gerald, and he was like,
all PhDs?
Yeah, we're all PhD students. asking what LGBT. So Gerald was like, that's true about the advisors. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He was like, what they do is they get these students in here on these grants. And they're like, here's what you worry about. You worry about what I'm paying you for. You publish these papers under like my name, and you get a name for yourself under my name. And that's like all they're there for. I am so corny because I'm like, I just want to learn. No, like for real. Like I just want to learn all the things that there are to learn. So if somebody's offering me something, some information, I want to learn it. I mean, which is probably why like I was like at the bookstore using the bathroom and was like, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna read it. And I'm just like, even though like, I'll have like a good month or so off of classes, but I was also just kind of like, so then I was like, that is fascinating. Why do people think they can do that? And he was like, yeah. And so then we were like talking about that. And I was like, maybe somebody should study that. And he was like, he was like, when I first kind of discovered that as a thing, he was like, I really wanted to study it like at the higher education level, the way that like, yeah, he's like at the higher ed level, the way that people are kind of like bullshit within their disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it's really seductive actually to study. He's like, it's kind of meta. Like people, like education researchers who study education researchers. And I was like, yeah, that actually sounds kind of exciting, blah, 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 blah. And so then we were talking about it later on, and I was like, oh man, I couldn't remember. Like I was like, yeah, it is really like enticing. I'm like, but you used a word, I couldn't remember the word. I'm like, use this word. And I was like, damn, I don't remember what it was, but yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm sure it was smart. And I was like, yeah, it's a smart word. But I couldn't remember what it was. So then yesterday morning, I was like, seductive. The word was seductive. And then he said, I was like, I remember it. And he said, wait. He said, oh yeah, tearing down epistemic violence is seductive as fuck. I was like, Gerald! Best friend! Hang out with me every week. Because this week in class, I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks.
He's like, good.
He was like, yeah, I was in Arkansas. I was like, oh, you missed class last week? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, because we went to a panel discussion with Kenyon Farrow.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. And so I was like, oh, yeah, you missed it. It was great. And he was like, tell me about it. I was like, marry me first. Oh, Andy, I have so much to do, but I don't feel like doing any of it.
I need to go eat. I need to go to the store. So
I'm hungry. I need some toast. I want some toast. What I want. I hate not having any food in here because
it's horrible. You saw my meal the other day?
No.
When I said I was having baby carrots and hummus and some hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like last week, right?
Yeah, that was the other day.
Yeah, my eggs are expired, so I can't eat those.
You gotta listen. They're not expired. They're used by. It means you got like a week.
They that should say October 29th or something.
Well, they expired.
Yeah, they done. I'm not eating these. I'm trying to think of. What is that?
All right, watch the Stranger Things thing. It's quick. Just watch it.
All right.
Later.
Bye.